Hey everyone, welcome back to Easy English, the podcast where two real Americans just talk about life, about language, about everything in between. I'm Emily.
And I'm Daniel. Hey guys, so good to have you here today. Whether you're watching for the first time or you're a regular, welcome. We're happy you're here.
Seriously, we always say this, but we mean it every single time. This channel exists because of you, the people watching, the people learning, the people who share our videos with their friends and family.
Yes, and if someone shared this video with you, tell them thank you, because that's how people find us. Word of mouth, sharing, all of that. It really matters.
It really does. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it right now. Just hit that button. It's free. It takes 2 seconds, and it means you'll never miss a new episode.
We put out new content every week. New conversations, new topics, all in simple, natural English, so you don't want to miss it.
And while you're at it, give us a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm show our videos to more people around the world who are trying to learn English. Every like is like a little gift to us and to all the future learners who will find this channel because of it.
A little gift. I love that.
It's true, though. Okay, so today we have a really excellent topic, one that I know a lot of English learners struggle with.
Oh, yeah. This one comes up a lot. People always ask about it.
We're talking about the word would. W-O-U-L-D. Would. Just 5 letters, but this little word does so many different things in English.
So many. It can talk about the past, the future, dreams, polite questions, personal preferences. It really does a lot.
And that's exactly why people get confused by it. Because when you look it up in a dictionary or a textbook, it just says past tense of will. And that's technically true, but it doesn't really explain everything.
Not even close. So today, we're going to break it all down, nice and slow. Simple examples, real conversations, the way we actually use it every day.
Perfect. But first, how are you doing, Emily? What's going on in your life lately? Oh, I'm good. Actually, I'm a little excited today because I just signed up for a pottery class.
Oh, wow, pottery, like making bowls and cups and stuff?
Yes, I've always wanted to try it. I'd walk past this little pottery studio near my house, and every time I'd think, I should really try that.
And you finally did it.
I finally did it. I start next week. I'm a little nervous, honestly. I feel like I'm going to be terrible at it.
You're going to make one very lopsided mug, and you're going to love it.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But hey, I'd rather make a bad mug than never try, right?
Absolutely. That's a great life philosophy.
Thank you. And did you notice I just used would right there? I'd rather make a bad mug than never try.
Oh, you did. I'd rather. That's I would rather. Already using it without thinking.
That's the goal, right? You use it so naturally you don't even notice. Okay, what about you? How was your week?
Pretty good, pretty good. I was actually up really late last night. Again.
Daniel, this is becoming a habit.
I know. But okay, there was this amazing documentary about Mars, about what life would be like if humans actually lived there one day.
Oh, interesting. And what did you think? Would you ever want to go to Mars?
Um, Honestly, no, I would not.
0%?
0%. It would be freezing. There would be no real food. Everything would probably go wrong. I watched this documentary and I thought, these scientists are incredibly brave, but I am not one of them.
Fair enough. But you know what's funny? You just used would like 6 times in a row, and you weren't even thinking about it.
Did I? Oh, yeah, I did. What life would be like? I would not want to go. It would be freezing. There would be no food.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about language. When you really understand a word, it just flows out naturally. You don't have to stop and think, which rule applies here?
Right, it becomes automatic, and that's what we want for all of you watching. We want would to feel automatic. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the different ways we use would in English. And I think the best way to do this is to go one use at a time. with lots of examples.
Agreed. So let's start with the most famous use, the one most people learn first. Would for imaginary or hypothetical situations. This is what teachers call the second conditional.
Yes, so this is when you're talking about something that isn't real. You're imagining a different world, a different situation. And to talk about that imaginary world, you use would.
For example, if I had $1 million, I would travel the world.
So, do you have $1 million, Emily?
Sadly, no.
So, this is imaginary. This is a dream.
And to talk about that dream, you say, I would travel the world, not I will travel, because that would mean it's really going to happen. But I would travel, it's a wish, a fantasy.
Exactly. And this is used all the time in conversation. Like, people ask these kinds of questions constantly. What would you do if you lost your phone? Where would you go if you could go anywhere? What would you eat if you could eat anything?
I love those questions. They tell you so much about a person.
They really do. And you need would to answer them. I would go to Japan. I would eat tacos every day. I would probably panic if I lost my phone.
Me too. I would completely panic.
Right? We're very dependent on our phones.
Okay, let's try one. I'll ask you a question and you just answer naturally. If you could wake up tomorrow speaking any language fluently, which language would you choose?
Ooh. I think I would choose Mandarin because it's spoken by so many people, and also because it would open up so much history and literature and culture that I can't access right now.
Mandarin. That's a great choice. Okay, and now it's my turn.
Yes, tell us, Emily, what language would you choose?
I think I would choose Italian because I love Italian food, Italian music, Italian cinema, and honestly, I think it would just sound beautiful coming out of my mouth.
That is a very good reason.
And notice, both of us used would to answer. I would choose. It would open up. It would sound beautiful. All imaginary, all using would.
Perfect. So that's use number one, would for imaginary situations. Now let's move on to use number two. This one surprises a lot of learners. Would for past habits.
Yes, this one is really interesting because when people think of would, they often think it's about the future or about imaginary things, but it can also be about the past.
Right. So when you're telling a story about a time in your life that's over, you can use would to describe things you did regularly, things that were habits or routines.
For example, when I was in elementary school, I would walk home by myself every afternoon. My neighborhood was really safe, and my mom would always have a snack waiting for me when I got home.
That's so sweet.
It really was. But notice, I would walk home. My mom would have a snack waiting. These are past habits, regular things that happened over and over again during a period of my life.
And you can replace would here with used to. It means the same thing. I used to walk home by myself. My mom used to have a snack waiting.
Exactly. They're interchangeable in most cases. Would and used to both describe past habits.
So here's my example. When I was in high school, every Friday night, my friends and I would go to this little pizza place near school. We would sit in the same booth every single time. We would order the same pizza every single time.
Every single time, this same pizza?
Pepperoni and mushroom, large, extra cheese, every Friday for like 3 years.
Wow, you really committed.
We did, but that's the kind of story where would is perfect. We would go, we would sit, we would order, all past habits, all part of a routine that doesn't happen anymore.
And this kind of would usually comes with a time phrase at the beginning. When I was a kid, back in college, growing up, in those days. That phrase signals to the listener, okay, we're in the past now.
Great point. So the listener doesn't get confused. They know we're talking about history, not about something happening now.
Right. So if someone says, growing up, my family would spend summers by the lake, you understand immediately this is a beautiful memory from the past.
Exactly. It has a kind of nostalgic feeling to it, doesn't it, when you use would like this?
It does. There's something warm and a little sad about it at the same time, like you're looking back at something you miss.
Yeah, like when my grandfather was alive, he would tell us stories every Sunday evening. That sentence it carries so much emotion.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, use number 3. And this one is maybe the most practically useful in everyday life. Would for polite requests and offers.
Oh, yes, this is the wood of politeness, of good manners, and in American English, and really in all forms of English, this is everywhere.
Think about any time you're in a restaurant. The waiter comes over and says, "Would you like to hear our specials?" Or "Would you like some more water?"
And that sounds so much more professional and polite than, do you want more water?
Right. "Do you want" is fine among friends, but in a formal or semi-formal situation, "would you like" is much better.
And the same goes for when you're offering something. Would you like some help? Would you like to take a seat? Would you like me to call you back?
All polite, all considerate, and the person you're talking to feels respected.
Exactly, because would gives people a choice. It doesn't feel like a demand, it feels like a genuine offer.
And you can also use it for requests, like if you need help with something, instead of saying, "help me," you say, "would you mind helping me?" Or "would you be able to send me that document?"
That sounds so much better. It's the difference between sounding demanding and sounding collaborative.
And at work, this is really important. If you work in an international environment or if you communicate with English-speaking colleagues, using would correctly can completely change how people perceive you.
Right. Would it be possible to reschedule our meeting versus reschedule the meeting? One of those is going to make your boss very unhappy.
I'll let you guess which one.
Yeah, don't say the second one, please. Use would.
Use would, always. Okay, use number 4. Would for preferences and desires. This is would like, would love, would prefer, would rather.
These expressions are so useful, and they come up in conversation constantly.
So would like is basically a polite way to say want. "I would like a glass of water" is more polite than "I want a glass of water."
And would love is even stronger, more enthusiastic, like, I would love to come to your party. That sounds warm and excited.
Yes, would love has so much more energy than would like. It's the difference between "I wouldn't mind" and "I'm so in."
And then would rather, we talked a little bit about this earlier. I'd rather stay home tonight means you prefer to stay home. You choose staying home over the other option.
"I'd rather have coffee than tea." "She'd rather work from home." "They'd rather take the train than drive."
And this naturally leads into the would you rather game, which is honestly one of the best conversation games ever invented.
It really is. Okay, let's play around right now. For anyone watching who doesn't know, Would You Rather is a game where you pick between two difficult or interesting choices, and both choices use would.
Ready. I'll go first. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to play every musical instrument?
Oh, that's hard. Okay. I would rather speak every language because language connects you to people. Music connects you to emotion, which is also beautiful. But being able to talk to anyone on earth, that feels more powerful to me.
That's a great answer. Okay, your turn.
Would you rather live without music or live without the internet?
Without the internet, without a doubt.
Really? Surprised.
I would miss the internet, sure, but I could not live without music. Music is like, it's part of my soul. I would be a completely different, much sadder person without it.
That's actually really beautiful.
Thank you. I feel like I say something meaningful every episode and then immediately embarrass myself somehow.
That's kind of your brand.
It really is. But yes, both answers use would. I would rather speak every language. I would miss the internet. And in spoken English, these become contractions. I'd rather. I'd miss.
Which brings us to something really important, the contractions. In real spoken English, would almost always becomes d. I'd, he'd, she'd. we'd, they'd, you'd.
And this confuses a lot of learners because when you're listening to English, you hear I'd and you think, wait, what was that? I'd, I had, I did, what?
Right, it sounds so fast and small, but almost every time you hear d attached to a pronoun, it's would.
She'd love to come to dinner equals she would love to come to dinner. We'd rather have the window seat equals we would rather have the window seat. They'd be happy to help equals they would be happy to help.
Say these out loud if you can. I'd, he'd, she'd, we'd, they'd, you'd. Say them slowly at first, then faster, until they feel natural.
And listen for them when you watch TV shows or movies in English. Once you start hearing them, you'll notice them everywhere, like everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, now let's talk about something a little more advanced, but still really important. Would have. This is for talking about things in the past that didn't happen. Missed chances. Things you wished had been different.
So, for example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. This means I didn't study hard, I didn't pass the exam, but in an imaginary past where I studied harder, I would have passed.
It's like going back and rewriting history in your mind. If X had happened, Y would have happened.
If she had left earlier, she would have caught the train.
If they had listened to the weather forecast, they would have brought an umbrella.
If I had known it was your birthday, I would have called you.
These sentences are about regret, about missed opportunities, about imagining how things could have been different.
And in real life, people say these things all the time. Like after a difficult situation, you think, I would have done things differently, or I wish I would have said something.
Yes, and one small grammar note here. The structure is would have plus past participle. Would have gone, would have eaten, would have seen, would have called.
Not would have went, not would have ate. The past participle, gone, eaten, seen, called.
This is a common mistake, so it's worth mentioning. I would have went, that's not correct. I would have gone, perfect.
Okay, now let's talk about the most famous mistake people make with would in conditionals, because this one is super important.
Yes, so in an imaginary conditional sentence, you have two parts, the if part and the result part.
For example, if I had more money, I would travel.
The if part is, if I had more money. The result part is, I would travel.
And here's the rule. Would only goes in the result part, not in the if part.
So if I would have more money, I would travel, that's incorrect. Even though it feels logical, it's not natural English.
The correct version is if I had more money, I would travel. If plus simple past, then would plus term in the result.
Say it with us. If I had more time, I would learn to paint. If she lived closer, we would see each other more often. If they had a bigger apartment, they would get a dog.
All perfect. If plus simple past, would plus base verb. That's the pattern.
And once you internalize that pattern, it really does become natural. You stop having to think about it consciously.
Like most things in English, or in any language really, at first everything is slow and deliberate, then one day it just flows.
It flows. That's such a good way to describe it. And that's the journey we're all on together here on Easy English.
Okay, I want to do something fun. Emily, can you tell a story, just a short one, that uses as many different would uses as possible? Past habits, imaginary situations, preferences, polite expressions, mix them all in.
Oh, that's a great challenge. Okay, let me think for a second. Okay, so when I was little, my dad would take me to the library every Saturday morning. We would walk there, even in winter, and we would stay for hours. I would read picture books in this big armchair by the window. My dad would read newspapers. If I ever fell asleep in the chair, he would just let me sleep and keep reading. I'd give anything to have one of those mornings back. If I could go back in time, just for one Saturday, I would walk to that library again. I would sit in that chair. I would find my dad in the newspaper section, and I would just sit with him for a while. No phone, no distractions, just that quiet morning and a pile of books.
Emily, that was stunning.
Thank you. It's also 100% true.
Okay, let's break it down because that was a perfect example. Past habits. My dad would take me. We would walk. We would stay. I would read. He would let me sleep. All past habits, things that happened regularly during a specific time in your life.
And then the imaginary part. If I could go back in time, I would walk there again. I would sit. I would find my dad. I would just sit with him for a while.
And the I'd give anything, I'd is I would. I would give anything to have one of those mornings back. That expresses a deep wish, a longing.
And none of it felt like grammar, did it? It felt like a real memory.
That's the magic of language. When you understand it deeply, it stops being rules and starts being feeling.
Well said. Okay, now let's bring it home. We've covered a lot today. What are the main things we want viewers to remember?
Okay, so first, would for imaginary situations. If I had wings, I would fly everywhere. Not real, just dreaming.
Second, would for past habits. When I was young, I would ride my bike for hours. Repeated action in the past that doesn't happen anymore.
Third, would for polite requests and offers. Would you like some help? Soft, respectful, kind.
Fourth, would for preferences. I'd love some tea. I'd rather stay in tonight. I'd prefer the window seat.
Fifth, would have for imaginary past situations, things that didn't happen but could have. If I had known, I would have come.
And the big grammar note. In the if part, use simple past, not would have. If I had, not if I would have. And in spoken English, use contractions. I'd, he'd, she'd, we'd, they'd. Sound natural. Sound real.
If you can remember all of that, or even most of it, you are going to sound so much more fluent.
And the best way to remember is to use it. Right now, in the comments below, tell us, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live and why?
We read every comment. Seriously, we love hearing from you. And every comment you write in English is practice, real, valuable practice.
Also, if you have questions about would or about any other word or grammar point in English, leave your question in the comments. We might turn it into a future episode.
Yes, we get a lot of episode ideas from your comments, so please keep them coming.
Okay, I think we've done a really good job today. I feel like would is no longer scary. It's actually kind of elegant.
It is. It's a gentle word. It makes everything softer, more thoughtful, more human.
More human. I like that. It's the word you use when you're dreaming or remembering or being kind to someone. All very human things.
Yeah, I would say English would be a much harsher language without would.
Look at you, using it perfectly in a meta sentence.
I contain multitudes.
You do. Okay, a message to everyone watching. Learning English is a journey. It's not a race. And it's okay if some days feel harder than others. Every person on this planet who speaks English fluently went through the same confusion you're feeling right now.
Every single one of them, native speakers included. We make mistakes too. We forget rules. We use words in the wrong context sometimes. Language is alive and messy, and nobody is perfect on it.
The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection, being able to share your thoughts, your feelings, your stories with other people.
And would is going to help you do that a lot.
A lot. Okay, if you enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button, please. It means the world to us, and it helps other learners find this channel.
Subscribe if you haven't already. New episodes every week. You don't want to miss them.
Share this video with someone who's learning English, a friend, a family member, a colleague. You might help them more than you know.
And leave us a comment. Say hi. Tell us where you're from. Ask us a question. We're always here.
Always. Thank you so much for watching Easy English today. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care of yourselves, keep practicing, you've got this.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.